Okay, welcome to the Westside Community Council. If you all could have a seat, please. We would like to get started. If so, we're going to have to end your conversations, or at least keep it down a little bit. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. We're going to do recognition of current and present members. So I'll pass the mic over to Mr. Luna here.
Tomás Luna, Westside Community Council Board Director.
Okay. Corporal Anthony Morales, Ventura Police Department.
Aaron Minkle, resident. First timer.
Betsy Erickson, first timer.
Janet Lowshelter, first timer. Neighbor.
Matt Bello, a resident of West Vin Street and a proud member of the Community Council.
Hi, Karen Flock, Ventura Housing Authority.
Suze Montgomery, resident Westsider. Proud to be a Westsider.
John Hankins, resident and Ventura Land Trust.
Ann Callis, resident. Been here before.
Helga Ono, property owner.
Carrie Calvert, resident and member.
Jeanette Daniel Whitney, resident member, former board member.
Jim Whitty, a member and resident of the world famous Taco District.
Lorelei Warner, owner of Wellness Arts Village and the former Avenue Hardware, proud resident of the West Side, and Let My People Swim committee.
Mark Abel, visiting.
Ron Whitehurst, Avenue resident and bug farmer.
Hi, I'm a local resident. I just moved to the cannery about a year ago.
Jim and Christy Caldwell, business owner.
Thank you, sir, for being here.
Yvonne Quintero Canyachi. I grew up on the Avenue, and I have family on the Avenue, and I have a vested interest in seeing the West End succeed and seeing it grow in a productive way.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Jackie, are you here?
Jackie Pierce, Westside Community Development Corporation.
Thank you for being here.
Gerardo Gallegos, Vice Chair of Westside Community Council and West Ventura Pool Initiative.
Carla, resident.
Leticia Sandoval, resident and Women's Economic Ventures.
Patsy. Patsy.
Welcome to be here.
Hi, Deanna.
What is your name?
Hendricks.
Robert Enriquez, resident and WCDC board member.
Emily Savage, resident.
Marcus Klatt, resident.
Danielle Sisk, resident and troop leader of troop number 60700. Welcome to be here.
Brian Sisk, resident.
Elise Sisk, resident and member of Girl Scout Troop 60700.
Maddie Sisk, resident.
Kayla Enriquez. Kayla Enriquez.
Kay Zerby's resident.
Two more.
Liz Campos, Westside resident.
Linda, resident.
Anybody else waiting? You done?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you guys all for coming. Well, happy to have you here on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Next, we'll have invitation for membership, and that's Mr. Gallegos here.
Oh, there you go. Come on, come on. All right. I'm going to start by reading our mission statement. The Westside Community Council is a group of dedicated volunteers who live or work in the area known as the Westside. Since May 1994, we have been actively working to create a better, safer neighborhood in which to live, work, and raise our families. We are an organized, nonpartisan group of people focused on improving the quality of life for all on the West Side. The purposes of this corporation are to promote, support, and encourage community unity and revitalization. And one of the ways that you can be involved, you're already involved just by being here, but is to contribute and become a member, an official member of the Westside Community Council by filling out this application, which we have in the back, and a suggested donation of $35 would be greatly appreciated. But like always, if you have $350, $3,500, $35,000, we would gladly take that. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, next we have Mr. Luna. He's going to an invitation to Spanish speakers.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Tomás Juarico Luna. Soy miembro activo del Westside Community Council. Quiero decirles que nosotros, esta institución, también pensamos en la comunidad hispana. So as always, we always thinking in you guys. If you guys need any support in Spanish, English, we will be more than happy to support you. Thank you very much for being here.
Gracias. Okay, next. Okay, you're up. Thank you very much. He's going to be giving us our treasurer report.
Right now, we stand at $1,871.68 and counting. Right? Tonight, we're going to have more sign-ups? Yes. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Okay, and Kay will go ahead and pass the hat. So if you guys, if you have any loose change, string, balls of yarn, please, we'll take them. Okay, next we have our patrol watch from our boys in blue, Ventura PD.
Thank you. Like I said earlier, I'm Corporal Anthony Morales with the Ventura Police Department. There's a form that is at I guess that's the check-in area, that has our stats in this area from the last 28 days. It's basically what we refer to as Part 1 crimes. There was 13 reported incidents within the last month, so from May 7th to June 4th, and I'm sure that's probably skewed a little bit because, again, I'm talking about reported crimes, some of the stuff that goes unreported. So Part 1 crimes, theft and larcenies, we had 6. Stolen vehicles, I'll speak on because it says 5. That's kind of skewed. I'll speak on that. A theft from a vehicle, we had 1, and then 1 robbery. On the robbery, which happened over here at the smoke shop, it was a late reported crime. A weapon was used. I believe it was a handgun that was exposed in the suspect's waistband that was shown to the clerk. This happened... What day was it? On the 9th, May 9th, between, actually it doesn't say the actual time that occurred. The time that we took the report was around 3 in the afternoon, but I think it happened with the clerk around 7:30 at night. $400 to $500 was taken, and actually the suspect left running in this direction. So I'm not sure if he lives in this area, had a car waiting, whatever it might have been, but that's the general direction that the person ran. That was the only violent crime that we had in the West Side area within the last month. The theft from the vehicle happened up here at Poli and Cedar in that parking lot up there. With that crime, it was an unlocked vehicle, so we remind everybody obviously to, I know we forget, I sometimes forget myself, but make sure you lock your car. 2, you take everything out of there. Any valuables that can be visible, take those out, because even if you do lock your car, if you leave those in there, they're probably more likely going to smash the window and then take whatever's in there. So we're always reminding people to lock your cars up. With the stolen vehicles, out of the 5, 1 actually was an intoxicated person forgetting where they reported their car lost or stolen, and I think it was in Oxnard. So that wasn't us. The other one happened to be kind of a shady operation where someone came to test drive a vehicle. After the test drive, they said that something appeared to be wrong with it. They said they can go to the mechanic and fix it. It took off and never came back. The other one was a domestic issue where the significant other, I think it was a boyfriend, took off with the car, and about 5 days later, the other half decided to report the vehicle stolen. So it actually was more of a civil issue rather than an actual stolen vehicle. So we actually only had 2 vehicles that were taken within the last month. And then we had a couple of online reports, theft from unlocked vehicles, and a package theft. And I think that was it. So the West Side was somewhat safe. Again, reported crimes only within the last month. So that's pretty good. Any questions? No? All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, so next we have our standing committee, which is the Westside Sustainability Committee, chaired by our own Matt Bello and Donna O'Neill, which she's not here today because she's sick. So, Matt, do you have a report for us? Give it up.
Hi guys, I'm Matt Bello. I'm one of the chairs of the Westside Sustainability Committee. What we do is we try to go deeper into some of the issues on the west side and come up with solutions, something that wouldn't be really practical to do here. We also try to mobilize to developments to make sure that they seem appropriate, to make sure that they're including affordable housing, that they're including parking, that they're including everything that we would want. We don't all necessarily have the same political mindset. Everybody's welcome there. Anyone from any party or any political ideology is welcome there. But we'd love to have you. It's the second Tuesday of each month at the WCDC headquarters at 110 North Olive Street, right behind the Mission Plaza Vons. So if you want to make it, come on down. We'd really love to have you there. Last month, we talked a lot about the hillside issue. That's going to be delayed for a little while while we figure a few things out. But we're going to be discussing. We also discussed the Stanley on-ramp in depth and talked about some really cool developments that we hadn't heard about and kind of how we could push it at City Hall more next year to actually get that prioritized to be fixed up so that we're not about to die when we get on and there's the fast lane and there's some. This morning, this big old F-150 almost ran me off the road. So thanks for listening. But anyway, that said, what we're doing tomorrow is we're talking more about parking. We're also going to talk a little bit more about just traffic and some of the issues that we're seeing, and also what some of the solutions could be. So I think I said it's tomorrow. It's actually next Tuesday. So sorry, it's been a long day. Apart from that, what should I say? We're actually going to go through every component of the general plan because the general plan will be coming down the pike pretty soon. And what we want to do is the general plan is like a blueprint of how our city should develop. And so we want to really be clear-minded on what we want on the west side. It doesn't mean we all have to be in agreement, but we all really want to be educated on what the issues are and what the solutions are. And so when the city does come and ask for our feedback, we're all much more sophisticated than we are right now, and we could really give them a clear idea. And we have a lot of people that are already really sophisticated and really know a lot about the city and have been working as advocates in the city for decades, and we really appreciate their presence. And then there's a lot of newer people who we're just learning about everything, and we're really excited about it. So either way, we'd love to have you next Tuesday, every second Tuesday. If you would like to get on the mailing list, just see me at the end of the meeting, and I'm happy to add you onto that mailing list. And we also send out notes about how every meeting went as well. Just in case you can't make it, you're too busy, you could stay informed. Thank you. 110 North Olive Street, right next to the police storefront right there, right behind the Vons right here. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say, 6 p.m. Yep, every second Tuesday. And we'll decide if we're going to have one in July. I know there's no Westside Community Council meeting in July, so we'll probably decide next week if we're going to have one in July as well, just as a heads up.
Give it up. All right, thank you, Matt. So next we have, so you guys noticed that there's a bunch of cameras and a bunch of more equipment here. Well, Caps Media, thank you very much, guys. They're coming and they're filming us from now on. They're doing that with just about every community council, so you guys will all be on TV, Channel 6. And also be online, too, in about a week. So we'll be sending that out in social media and stuff like that. We're trying to expand our audience. And for people that can't make it to our meetings, we want to address them, too. Okay, so next we have our very own Deputy Mayor, Sofia Ropagava. She's going to give us a report from City Council.
Thank you, James. Yes, hello, everybody. It's nice to see all of you here today. And I just wanted to give a couple of updates as to what's going on over at City Hall so that we're all informed here, and also so that you can look for opportunities to participate if you wish to do so. So the first thing is that I wanted to let everybody know that the homeless shelter was approved on Monday. So as of Monday, we approved the homeless shelter. And the target is to open the homeless shelter by December the 31st. So hopefully that'll happen soon. Yeah, so there will be many ways for all of you to participate if you wish to do so. So be on the lookout for those things. The second thing that I wanted to mention is that there are currently opportunities to participate on commissions. So if you're interested in the Water Commission, you can participate in that. If anybody's like an expert in water or is interested in learning more about that, there are openings on the Water Commission. We're gonna need about 4, so be on the lookout for that. So if you're interested or anybody else you know is interested, let them know. The information is on the website, cityofventura.gov. The other board that's available will be the Parks and Rec. There's a couple of positions there, so if you're interested in that, that would be good. And also coming down the pike will be other commissions, for example, the cultural arts and those types of commissions, but we'll see what's gonna happen with those commissions, so just be on the lookout for those things. So we're actually gonna have a big workshop to talk about what the purpose of those commissions are and what would be the best way to work with regards to those commissions. So like the composition, how many people, how many positions, and like how many citizen resident positions and all those things. So we're gonna have workshops. And so if you all are interested, like on the historic preservation, the Cultural Arts Commission, the Parks and Rec, all those things, look on the website. We'll have more information. And the other thing that I wanted to let you all know is that on Saturday, there's gonna be a film screening over at the museum of Ventura County. It's gonna start at 4 o'clock with a bike ride, a community bike ride. So you're all invited to attend that and participate in the community bike ride. We're gonna meet over at the museum. And then at 5 o'clock, they're gonna have the film screen for Afghan Cycles. So this is a story about the female cycling team from Afghanistan. So, you know, in Afghanistan, it's not accepted, or it's not culturally accepted for women to ride bicycles. But this team of women like defied the stereotypes and the cultural norms, and they actually formed a team of female cyclists. So we're gonna watch that. And then after that, we'll have a panel. Also, I'll be part of the panel, and we'll be talking about the bicycle master plan for the city of Ventura, and there will be other panel members who will be speaking about Bike Ventura and other topics with regards to cycling. So you're all invited to that. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
I think I read in the BC Reporter that they were thinking of taking the water toilet to tap. Is that really?
So there's currently. So we currently have a proposal, but it's not toilet to tap as we think of it. It's a project to recycle water. So that's actually being worked on right now, and we actually have the facilities to recycle water. And so I don't know if all of you know, but you can actually purchase recycled water. It's $75 per year. And you can go and pick up the recycled water, for example, to wash your cars or water your lawns or use it for landscaping purposes. So that is available because it's being recycled in the facilities. It's called a water pier, Ventura Water Pier. So it's not being used for tap water. So currently it's being... No.
Well, you know, well, they were also saying that for those lower income people, they won't be able to buy bottled water or the filters. So anyhow, that's
Yeah, so right now the recycled water is being used for those purposes. Of course, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. So next we have, we handle our old business. We have flags along the avenue. Now, usually about this time we have American flags lining up and down the avenue. Well, we were kind of late getting that going. City Council, or former City Councilman Jim Monahan was the one that really is a proponent for that. And he was the one that really got that going. Well, since he's kind of retiring, he's looking for people to take over the flags, essentially. So the Westside Community Council raised its hand, and now we're kind of like the shepherds of the flags. And we're going to get them going. I think they're going to go up on the 7th, which is this Friday. And it actually took a lot of work with Laurie, Kay, Marie Grunion. We spent like about a couple hours at my house in the garage undoing the flags, and we sent the flags over to, was it Ola's Laundromat? And yep. And where's Ola's? Oh yeah. Yeah. But thank you guys so much for washing our flags. That was really nice. And it was about 88 of them, so that was a big job, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. And then we had to replace 15 of them. Sharon Troll bought one, and then Pete Marriott, who's not here, he bought 13, and they're about 25 cents a piece. So it's a pretty big price tag for a bunch of flags. R&R Pump, and also OST. Did I say 25 cents? $25. God, it's been a long day. Okay. The 25 cents. Yeah. Yeah, they lost money on that one. No, and then what's going to happen is IBEW Union is going to go, they're going to borrow a couple trucks, and they're going to go and put them up on Friday. So at about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and they go all the way to about 3 in the morning putting up those flags. So if you see any of those guys, give them a thank you, because they go out of their way to do this. Okay, yes. Okay, go on. You want to go? Yeah. Okay, Laurie Steinhauer.
Hi, I'm Laurie. I'm a chair emeritus with the council, and I just wanted to give a couple sentence history on the flag program. It's been the Westside Community Council has championed this program on the West Side on the Avenue for years and years and years and years and years. And Pete Marriott has really spearheaded the effort for raising the money with the business community on the West Side. And his family goes back to about the turn of the century. He's been here a long time and really helped keep this going. And then every year, and he generously said, I'll have 13 flags covered in a heartbeat this year, and he is really always drums up a lot of money for that. But every year we come to the community and say, you're welcome to sponsor a flag for $25. And James and I did a little investigating, and those flags really cost like 3 times that. So thanks to Mr. Monahan and the connections, we're really getting a great deal. So we can feel proud of our Westside and our community council for long before any of us probably were here keeping that program going. And special thanks to James, who really took it over this year. So, yahoo.
someone was interested in helping out next time?
Our deputy mayor asked if there's a flag committee.
There used to be a flag committee. It wasn't kind of official, but it was really Jim Monahan getting a bunch of people together, but we had actually a flag committee. So we're probably going to have to get that going, get that back up again. I don't know. The mayor, Matt Levere, was supposed to do it, and I think he will go ahead and do another flag committee. You want to be on it?
For sure.
I'll put your name down. Thank you so much. That's great.
The Community Council's flag committee it's been existing for years, but it's been informal. And then Ken Cousins is with the Downtown Lions, and he's championing the ones on the pier and a bunch of the other flags over the years. But formalizing the committee citywide, et cetera, would be great. And James really spearheaded this year, making sure it didn't fall through the cracks, and Jim Monahan was down there making sure it didn't fall through the cracks citywide. So let's hear it for our chair. Woohoo!
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Okay, let's move on. The skate park is, Jackie, would you like to talk about the skate park?
Okay, sure. Awesome. Well, I don't know if you've heard through the grapevine that there's this opportunity to expand the existing bowl that's over there off of Park Row, known as West Park, Skate Park. And so the existing bowl that's there would more than likely remain intact, but there is an adjacent piece of property that is owned by the city of Ventura, and there's an opportunity to pursue a pretty robust grant that could fund the full project. So the community's rallied up behind this effort, city staff, excuse me, local residents, and Westside Community Council, myself, WCC, and so we're just going forward with this effort, and the grant is due in August, so that entails about 5 community meetings. There was one hosted here right before this meeting, and there's been a few other ones. Stay tuned for the next one, which will be the last of the 5 community meetings, and that'll be the 15th of this month at the skate park location, I believe at 11 o'clock. Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. That's plan A. Plan B would be, another effort of fundraising and such, but this one is it's just hitting it right on the mark. This grant would, it's specific to the particular qualities of this area, so it's sort of like a why not, let's just go for it. So it's pretty exciting. The skate community is very, very excited and thrilled. There's been an outpour of attendance and voices. So yeah, if there's any questions, you can see me, or you can also reach out to Katrina Maximuk with the City of Ventura, who's writing the grant.
And what's your organization?
Oh, and I'm with the Westside Community Development Corporation. Yeah, and I have other announcements, but we'll leave that later because we got to move along. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Currently, it's all Instagram, bunch of different skaters and stuff that have posted stuff, so you can find them at West Park Get Socked, for example. Follow them. All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Okay, let's get into our programs. Next, we have Suze Montgomery. There you are. She's going to be talking about the ineffective. Go ahead. Give it up. And I'll let her introduce what she'll be speaking about.
Hope you guys can see me. I'm kind of short. I'm here to talk about the evacuation routes, especially in reference to when the Thomas fire occurred here. There was a lot of confusion here on the west side. There was a lot of backup. A lot of people got stuck in traffic and had a hard time getting down to the evacuation center, which was down at the community fairgrounds down at the county. That still doesn't work well. Police department cobbled together a route map for evacuation, which I looked up online. And you guys did as best you could, considering you slammed it together pretty fast. I think it needs to be expanded, and we'd like to work with you on this. This is a little confusing to me. I don't know about you, but I'm looking at this going, is this upside down or is this right side up? I'm not real sure. So I think maybe if we could work with the police department to refine this, and City Hall, Sophia, to get a better evacuation. It's not that it's not going to happen again, it's when it will happen again. We live in different times. The weather has changed. Climate has changed. It's national. Look on the news every night. Competition. Every night on the news, you see something on the weather, and it's getting worse. And it's global warming, let's face it. We got a real problem going on. So my suggestion is, how many went down, or I should ask, how many people actually exited on 33 to get to the fairgrounds? Is there anybody that did that? Did you get stuck in traffic? A little. We got stuck, we live in Sycamore Village, and we got gridlocked. And I mean, I know Donna also got gridlocked. It was difficult to get there, and it was very difficult. It took us about a good 40 minutes to get down there. It seemed like 40 days. It was frightening. And then when we got down there, they weren't prepared for, people to be evacuated there. This was cobbled together, not their fault. But now that we have a little time to look behind us, I'm suggesting that we could get a working group together out of this group here and actually sit down with the police department and the city of Ventura and Sophia and hammer out something. Let's get a plan going. I don't know how many of you are aware of VC Alert. If you're not, sign up. It's free. It comes to you on your cell phone. It'll go off, and it'll make a lot of racket, but it'll scare you to death, but it may save your life. So that's important also. But I think if we can get all together here and do something like, and I'm also here to represent the Ventura Council for Seniors and the Ventura Council Area on Aging. I chair both of the groups. So I'm the old bat in town. We did this wonderful thing about a year before the Thomas fire. And if we as a community council here could put this together and work with us in partnership with the Ventura Council for Seniors at City Hall, it is a disaster preparedness forum by the county, by the city, by residents like us. This is a plan to get ahead of the next earthquake, flood, fire. Who knows what it's going to be? But we need to start looking at this now. We can't ignore it. It's going to happen again. And I hope to God nobody's going to be hurt. Thank God nobody was on this last one. Also, 33. I'm here to speak a little bit. Matt said something about Highway 33. I'm working with other people in the area on the redesign of 33. I'm working with 7 different agencies, county, Watershed Protection Agency, Ventura Unified School District, Caltrans, all of these, and also a lot of business owners on the west side here, to sit down at a meeting, hammer out what we want to see done with the redesign of Stanley. And while we're at it, why don't we just throw in Shell Road? I mean, that thing's a nightmare too. It's another death trap. The minute you get onto it, you're going to get run over. Same thing as 33 here when I get on in the morning. I'm in the dirt. These people don't care. They come whizzing down 33 from Ojai, and they're just going to run you over. They care not. So that's another issue we're looking at. So if you need or want more information from me, I'm readily available. I'm all over town. Most of you know me anyway, and I'm here to help. I love my town. This is my town. This is where I'll die. I will do anything for it. And being a proud West Sider, I want more done for us over here because we've been neglected far too long. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Suze. Okay. Is there any questions? Okay, next we have our Girl Scout troop, 6700. And what they did, they worked on a kiosk at Kellogg Park. I don't know who's seen that kiosk. It has a nice mural on the back. It's really beautiful. Well, this Girl Scout group was the one that built it. So let's give it up for them.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. It's quite an honor to be here. Okay, I'm not very good with public speaking, but thanks so much for having us, and we're really honored to be here tonight. I'm going to pass the microphone over to our troop, and they're going to be reading the thank you note that we designed for you today. James is going to be displaying some photos in the background, and they're the same photos that we handed out on our thank you note. So thank you, everyone.
Troop 6700 thanks you. We have been honored to help fundraise and install the informational kiosk at Kellogg Park in West Ventura. Thanks to your generous support, our project was a success. Thank you, Jackie Pierce from the WCDC, for the opportunity for Scouts to earn their Silver Award.
We would like to give a huge thank you to our anonymous carpenter who built the kiosk, installed the glass, and the track. In addition, the build was able to negotiate the donation from the Glass Ventura Company. Thank you to the kind carpenter. Who's next? You're next. I'm next. Scouts primed and painted the kiosk. 6mm cork was added after the painting. Scouts dug holes 30 inches deep, poured the cement, lifted the kiosk into place with help. The kiosk was braced. Lastly, the glass and track were installed by the carpenter.
Artist Toby Roach was hired to paint a mural designed by co-leader Mary Buck.
And we would like to thank you from Troop 6700 for helping us to complete our project.
Great, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate everything you guys did. And if you need to earn another badge, come see us. We have more work for you to do. So thank you so much. We'll be back. Okay. Yes. Jackie, you want to come up here?
Event, not, unfortunately, not a car for sale or bike for sale or looking for a partner, nothing like that. It's going to be just purely community-related events, workshops or meetings or things like that that are happening in the community that are related to Ventura Avenue. So, and you can bring those materials or flyers to a WCC meeting here anytime, or you can reach out to James at the WCC or myself at the WCDC, and that information is posted on the kiosk as well as on our Facebook page, but you can also get my card if you'd like afterwards.
Okay, thank you very much. So next on our list, we have strategic planning. So now Gerardo's passing out a sheet, and he'll be passing out some pencils and pens and stuff like that. And what a strategic planning handout, what this is actually going to be doing, we're asking you guys, what do you want to see from the Westside Community Council? What kind of projects, what kind of actions do you want to see from us? And also, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are things that we need to improve, and what are things we should expand on? Those are the kind of things that we're asking you today as members. We find it very important, and we need the feedback from you guys. At the board meetings, we have our own little SWOT analysis and stuff like that. But we're finding that the best way to get information is through you guys. You guys know better. You guys know more than us. So we'll be handing out some pens, and please just take the time to read it and fill in whatever you can. But we're going to continue on with our agenda as you guys do this. So yeah, raise your hand if you need a pen. And then after you guys are done, we're going to collect them, and then we're going to post them right there. And at that point, we'll also take more questions if you guys want to talk about it further. That'll be towards the end of the meeting. But again, thank you guys for doing this. We really appreciate it. This is how we get things done, is through you guys. So thank you again. I beg your pardon?
Can some of these information that we're filling out
Yes.
be rolled into the general?
Absolutely. We're going to also take it to our standing committee, the Westside Sustainability Committee, and present it there as well. It won't just be for the board. And we'll report it back out next meeting. And just for, it says down here, I'm going to say it now, but July we go dark. Usually the first week is 4th of July around that area, and a lot of people are out. So we're going to take the month off in July, and we're going to come back in August. We'll present all this information to you and actually have a game plan for you of what we're going to do next. So please just take the time. We're going to do about 5 minutes, and then we're going to get going with our agenda. And thank you. It was a county grant. Okay, so now let you guys keep filling that out. We're going to continue on with our program here. Is Alex here, Garcia, from Cause? Yeah. Can you come on up, please?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alex Garcia, and I'm the Ventura Community Organizer with Cause, working here on the Avenue, and I coordinate the Adult Committee, which is monolingual Spanish speakers, and then just recently transitioned into organizing the Youth Committee as well. And I'm here to introduce myself and also talk about an issue that our Adult Committee has been working on for the past several months. Regarding trash on the streets, both small and large trash, especially in high density areas with apartments. So this issue came up during our house meeting campaigns in the last fall and earlier this year, where we saw that some people were aware of certain services, programs, and other people were not. And so we saw that most of our grassroots leaders, who are, that's what we call our people in our adult committee, that lived in apartments. They weren't aware of the all the services that were available, because as tenants, they didn't have access to a certain program, for example, like the 4 times a year free pickup from Harrison. And so this sort of was helping to explain why there was still so much trash on our streets, even though we had programs like Jackie Pierce's WCDC twice a year, big events. Like, we still saw trash because we saw that not everybody was being supported equitably to keep our streets clean. For example, right, like a low-income tenant who, for example, didn't have access to a truck, couldn't take a large item, for example, to a landfill. And so these people in our committee were being left out, not supported. And so we saw this as a systemic problem, and that's why we decided to organize around this and go to the city to help us address this issue collectively. And with the help of Sophia and other people at the city, we've been taking the first steps into finding solutions. And yeah, they've been really responsive, and we're really grateful. And so one of the first steps that we're taking is creating a safe and clean direct line. That's going to be both in English and in Spanish. Do a lot more outreach to tenants in ways that are more accessible, so that people learn about the resources, the programs that we currently have, and they can use them. And in the long term, we're advocating for this to be a priority with ongoing funding, right, to address this systemically, year by year. The trash isn't going to go away. And currently the trash sits on our sidewalk for days. Sometimes that attracts rodents, roaches, diseases, and we don't want that. And our residents and our grassroots leaders don't want that. So I'm basically just here to bring up this issue with you all and see if there's any collective or individual sort of community knowledge that you all can share with our committee, and keep pushing for a community that is safe and clean. I'll stick around after in case anybody has any questions, or I don't know if we have time to take questions now. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions.
I just have 2 comments. Yeah. Well, one's a question, and I guess one question is City Corps kids, if they're still around, they used to go down the bike path and collect trash. And that was a great project for them and a great thing for us. And I also, thank you. And I also would like to recognize one of our neighbors, Carrie Calvert, who's my neighbor over on North Avenue off of Shoshone. Every morning she is out there in the Lanier Greenbelt Park picking up trash to keep our neighborhood beautiful. And that is such a gift. Thank you, Carrie.
I have partners who contact me and say, hey, did you catch these beer bottles here or there? And off we go. And the last thing I can tell you, there is no greater treasure than an unbroken beer bottle.
Some of us would also like to know or get a movement going to understand where to call and report shopping carts that are dumped in our neighborhood, particularly the block that Veronica was talking about.
Yeah, Ramona and Olive.
Yes, and shopping carts full of garbage that she didn't pick up. It's other people dragging it around, and then it gets dumped. And we're starting to have rats in the neighborhood instead of mice. And the city has picked up 2 or 3 garbage cans off the avenue in the past 2 weeks and not replaced them. So those 3 things we really need to get on.
I just wanted to make a quick comment that thank you, again, for all your individual efforts to help with this issue. But yeah, like an individual wouldn't be able to pick up a couch, right? Like a TV or a sofa, and that's kind of like we're trying to point to is like this can't really be like one person solution.
I walk my dog down the avenue a lot, I walk my dog down the avenue and down Olive and everything, and when he, goes to the bathroom, I often have to walk 3 or 4 blocks before I could find a place to place it. And I know, I live kind of near that large Red Barn grocery. That one is always jammed full of stuff. We're just really lacking trash cans. And if I weren't a more responsible person, I would I'm already frustrated. I would just kind of throw it on the ground, but I don't do that, obviously, but I could see how a lot of people might do that if they don't have the patience or they don't even know if a trash can's coming up or something, So I think that's a huge cause of a lot of it. I like the larger things, like that presentation you guys did at City Hall. By the way, that was awesome. Thanks for bringing monolingual Spanish speakers to City Hall and giving them a voice and everything. That was great. Looking at all the larger stuff, yeah, that's a major issue. But I think just me practically walking in the neighborhood all the time, I don't have an opportunity to throw away my trash when I'd like to. And I think that, if I was a kid or something, I would probably just throw it on the ground. Or if I was, someone with, some needs, I might just throw it on the ground as well, So, yeah. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Thank you.
Over here and then back.
If you have a pencil or paper, the cart pickup number, and I got this from Vaughn's, is 818-817-6712. And we've tried to keep the carts off the 7-Eleven and Olas corner up there. We get quite a few up there. But anytime I see them, I call that number, and they've been somewhat responsive. And an accolade, I think, to the city, I didn't realize this, but the bus stops are pressure washed and cleaned almost on a daily basis. And I was surprised to learn that. And we have one out in front of the store, and there are a lot of homeless that are in there, but a lot of the stuff that's left and spilled and everything else that's in there is oftentimes cleaned up in a timely manner. So kudos to the city.
Yeah, and I don't know if Sophia, if you want to speak more on that. I know that there's a central safe and clean line that is being created, and those are one of the first steps, right, that we're taking. I think they're being printed, but yeah, it would include the graffiti, the carts, and a bunch of other numbers that are going to be centralized. That used to be separate numbers. They're going to now be one phone number that you could dial, right? Press 1 for this, press 2 for that. So I think that's a good first step.
As to the question on the trash cans, about 3 years ago, Pete Freeman, who's not here tonight, one of our members here, asked about trash cans, and he was having a problem with the garbage that's been thrown around. So I called up City Hall, and believe it or not, Environmental Services started throwing out the trash cans up and down the avenue. So if they're missing, call Environmental Services down at San Hone Yard, and they will replace them for you. And Jim, is that Gold Coast that cleans up those bus stations, or is it the city? I think it's Gold Coast.
I don't know who's doing it. I'm guessing the city's paying for it. And,
City maintenance, probably.
I'm not sure who it is.
I'm glad it's clean.
Steve cleaned the machine on their truck.
Excellent.
Very good.
Thanks for doing that.
Okay, we got another 2 more questions.
You want to go to her seat?
Okay.
I guess I'm really not clear about the trash cans. What are you guys talking about city trash cans? Because I think that we definitely need more city trash cans up and down the avenue, and I don't know if there's an issue about that. Jackie keeps raising her hand, so I'm hoping she's got an answer for that. But people are putting them actually in the trees, because I'm taking care of the little tree in front of me as best I can, and they're putting them in the trees.
So the WCDC, Westside Community Development Corporation, does have an annual event or workshop called Idea Hub. And at the Idea Hub, we invite residents, I've announced it here at the WCC meetings, and we invite the public to offer suggestions that are community benefit, some type of project. And so it just so happens that an individual, she was here earlier, Eloise Kong, she presented her idea, which was to get a trash can on each block. And so a spreadsheet has been created. We've been communicating with Environmental Sustainability Division and addressing the different spaces. And so as a result, we had one relocated per the wishings of one community business, and then another one was added by Hairwaves, and then one that was stolen. There's been two that have been stolen, believe it or not, which I don't know why. So they've been chiseled and hauled away. And so unfortunately, we need to replace those. And then the big bellies that you were saying that get jammed all the time, those have just recently been removed per the request to just put in a uniformed, they're called urban recyclers, the blue ones that that Suze was just expressing. And so that is the plan. However, it's a contract with E.J. Harrison, who's going to be picking up the trash. And so that's another cost, and so we're looking into that. We put in the request to add more, and it's just going to be kind of a piece by piece process. We can certainly try to keep the pressure on to really bring those in as quick as possible, but it comes down to some money. But the big bellies will be replaced, so those are coming back in urban recycler form. And then also in terms of dog doo-doo, we did get 3 dog bag dispenser containers donated by Environmental Sustainability Division as well, and those have been placed. One of them has been installed at the private garden there, the Changemaker Garden, and well, I won't get into it. There's been some gross stuff happening. But anyways, so we got that installed, and if you know of some other, what's that? There's 2 at Kellogg. We'd like another one, and also relocation of another trash can to just for the other exit, the northernmost exit. So the plan is, again, on this, if you want to share the spreadsheet, you come and see and designated spots. Ideally, I would love to do an adopt a block program, and we get citizens, groups, entities charged to take ownership of certain blocks. So that's with street corridor traffic. In terms of the bigger items that you're referring to, Alex, I mean, it's true. I mean, we have the debris hotline number, but it is sometimes not as quick and expedient as we'd like. We offer the 2 biannual neighborhood cleanup events, and the City of Ventura offers their community large events. So there's quarterly 4 events for people to utilize, but we do see, what in between do we do with the larger items. So that's the part I would love to further discussion on that. How do we address that? So, okay.
Okay, one more question and we got to go.
So just 2 thoughts. One is that now that we have the kiosk, I don't know if the city can put something in the kiosk, or if they want to give me or somebody something, I'd be happy to get something into the kiosk. Also, with the Westside Community Council, we used to, and I don't know if this is possible, James, but and board, but we used to include the phone numbers of the debris removal, the police department, and the graffiti hotline on every agenda. So if it came up, people would have a place that could see that every month. So that's just another visible possibility.
Yeah, that is.
So those are a couple of suggestions I have. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, you're gonna have to remind me about that later.
I will. Thanks, James.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Alex. Really appreciate it. Give it up for Alex. Okay, I would like to go on to our next one. Also, Geraldo's picking up the sheets that you guys filled out. If you guys are not done yet, that's fine. Please return pens. I brought those from home, so my wife's probably like, where do all our pens go? I got to bring them back. Okay, so Sharon's going away party. So we all know Sharon Troll. She's a chair emeritus, 14-year Parks Commissioner. Well, she moved recently. She moved with her family. The High Sierras? Yeah, Big Creek, High Sierras. And she was a longtime staple of the West Side. A lot of you have known her or at least met her. We had a nice going away party. And on the Facebook page, we have a lot of photos, so you can go look at that. So I'd just like to thank Gerardo for letting us use Restore Garden. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous event. And our other board member, Josh Ewell, he is not here, but he has a band called the Black Walnut Group Boys, and they played, and that was really nice too. They're a really great band. So we'd like to thank them too. Next is going to the Avenue Trees. We had a work party. I'll just give a quick update of that. We had 3 or 4 people that helped. We had Ben. He's a local resident here. And we had someone from Midtown, Sherry, and she's from the Midtown Community Council, come out. And we went around and we cleaned up the trees. And we used Geraldo's Restore Garden as a base camp to have supplies and stuff like that. And we picked up a lot of stuff. We picked up a lot of syringes, cigarette butts, beer cans and stuff like that. And what you said, people have been like throwing trash into the gator bags, which are those bags that are sitting around the trees. And so when you lift them up, there's a bunch of trash in them. So we cleared out a lot of this trash. We did about half the avenue. The city did the other half. But those are the trees that we bought as a group. There were about 21 trees. We fundraised for them last year. And I think 3 of them have been vandalized, so we had to replace 3 of them. And Gerardo did that out of his pocket. So thank you, Gerardo. Really appreciate that. They've been snapped in half. And we actually saw somebody, Liz saw somebody, sawing one in half over by your laundromat. I think it was actually one of your trees. You lost 3 trees due to vandalism. And I'm on the tree advisory committee for the city. It was going to be axed, and then we brought it back. We lobbied for that. We're going to have a recourse ordinance. And what that means is that right now, if you vandalize a tree, you do not get charged. You won't get, there is no ordinance to specifically punish people for that. And that's what we're working on. That's kind of our big thing right now. So, what's that? So that's kind of some of the things we'll be doing. But anyways, I'd like to thank everybody that came out for the tree work party. We're going to have more of those later on, probably one in fall and one later next year. Okay, let's go on to D, the mural ribbon cutting. Mr. Rado. This is the family event put on by the HUD. Is that correct? And he has a mural that was commissioned, and we're going to have a ribbon cutting for that. But I'll let him tell you guys.
All right. Gerardo. Who can say that? Gerardo. Free taco district shirt. Whoever says Gerardo. No, just kidding. Save the date. You could take out your phones right now if you want, or write this date down. June 22nd. Actually, I don't know if that's a Friday or a Saturday. I'm guessing it's a Saturday. Who wants to look that up real quick? Saturday, June 22nd, 3 o'clock, over at Westview. We're going to have a ribbon cutting for a new mural. And I'm not going to show you a picture today of what it looks like because I want you to go visit it. There's going to be a party, and there's a little bit of an open house so you can kind of see the new Westview development. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. People are already moving in. I'm going to be doing tours of the new community garden that that they built, but I actually helped a little bit with the design stuff. So Saturday, June 22nd at 3 p.m. at Westview. Any questions? Who's coming? Raise your hand. Everybody's raising it. Cool. Westview, down at the end of Vince. Can't miss it. It's going to be going off. I might do some dancing, some singing. I don't know. It's just a rumor right now, but it might happen. Be there, the 22nd. That's our 3rd mural, by the way, for the West Side. And we have 2 more that we want to get done this year. More information to come on that.
Okay, thank you, Gerardo. And we're also going to have a booth. We're going to have, and if you'd like to man that booth, it's going to start at 3 o'clock. Please come see me afterwards if you'd like to volunteer for that. We're going to have literature and just kind of be a presence and kind of sell our organization. Okay, so at this point, I will open the floor to anybody that this is non-agenda items. So Karen, you had something. Anybody else wants to give an announcement? Okay, we have more people, so we'll make it quick.
Okay, thank you. I'm here at the end, so I'll try to be brief. And, I'm Karen Flock with the Ventura Housing Authority. And Gerardo, maybe you would help me pass out. I have a few handouts, not enough, but 2 months ago we were here to announce that we had just purchased the infamous Dario Pini building on North Ventura Avenue. And so I wanted to give a little progress report about that. It's a major challenge, and we're thrilled to have taken it on, and we're just so pleased with all the support that we've gotten for it. Our property management staff has been doing a great job of trying to sort of do immediate health and safety and fix up items on it and try and get the whole place in control. So we've done, thank you, things like fixing the fire alarms, fixing water leaks, smoke detectors, getting rid of a lot of junk in the building, rekeying the building. We're going to be placing cameras out. We just recently had, over the weekends, armed security guards out to try and get some of the bad behavior under control that happens around the building. But our long-term, one really interesting thing is we looked into the history of the building. Its historic name was El Portal before 1977. So that's the name we're re-giving to the building. I think it's a really cool name. It means the gateway. But our long-term plan, not that long-term, is to really do a major renovation, reconfiguration of the building. And so I just had a few handouts of that. That will involve keeping the front facade, but right now there's a lot of rooms that people live in that are 9 by 10. So we want to reconfigure it so that people have larger, decent living spaces. And also some living spaces on the first floor that are accessible. So that's a whole reconfiguration. And fixing, of course, there are the infamous 316 code violations that we're working on addressing. 316. To do all of this will take some money. We have a major investment we're going to make in the project. And we have requested funding from the city. They have a city home program, which provides funding for affordable housing programs. And the city's been really supportive of the project. Staff is recommending the full amount that we had requested, $935,000. This will be at City Council on Monday. And we'd love to have support from the Westside Community Council on that. It's kind of a late ask, but it would be great if we had that. This Monday, the 10th. Is there time for questions? If not, yes, I'll definitely hang around also. So what we're planning to do are studios, about 20 studios, some one-bedroom and two-bedroom apartments. So studios will be primarily for single-person households. And so right now there are 33 living spaces. We will be going down to 29 spaces. Some folks have moved out, so we'll be primarily housing the same folks who are living there, but in a decent living environment.
So it's individuals only?
Up to 2 people could be. Sorry, I'm getting directions on proper technology. 2 people could conceivably be in a studio. Typically, it would be 1 person in a studio.
And what is the square footage on those?
Oh, it varies because it's an odd building, but up over 300 square feet. So for a studio, as opposed to the current 9 by 10, 90-foot rooms.
I'm just kind of curious as to who exactly plan the tenants to be
and these tiny studio apartments jammed one on top of the other. You know, what kind of parking's going to be available for all of these people? You know, is it low? I'm assuming it's low income, but even so, are we just talking about elderly people? Are we talking about people who are transitioning from homelessness? I mean, you know, these are tiny little places, and it really seems to me that that would be a very difficult situation because, you know, you're going to really be cramming a lot of people into a small area, and I'm not sure about, you know, surrounding stuff or people going to be on top of each other. Is this a fair thing for people to live in?
Well, we think it'll be a much better living situation than what folks have now. And so there will be slightly fewer living dwelling spaces than there are now. There'll be the same amount of parking. Frankly, most people there don't have cars. Most people are either walking or there's a lot of bicycle activity there. So there you go. Yes.
I just want to say that my husband and I live in a 400 square foot studio, and we do quite well.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yes.
I was just curious when the grand opening of Westview is, or did I miss it?
We do not have the grand opening scheduled yet, but we will certainly let you know when it is.
Okay, thank you.
Because it will be a major party.
All right, cool.
I was just wondering, two questions. One is, do you own the garages that are there? Because those look pretty in the back.
Yes, we do own the garages,
Okay.
and we're planning to demolish them.
Okay.
They're currently full of junk, and
Yeah.
it's being removed.
Got it. And then do you expect, will this be like one big renovation, like everyone moves out, huge renovation, or is this going to be like over time?
It will probably be phased in 2 phases with basically half the folks being temporarily relocated at a time.
Okay, thank you. I live
Okay.
right there, so.
Okay, so I'll stick around for other questions, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. Jackie? I'm going to give the microphone to Jackie. I'm going to give the microphone to Jackie. Before I do that, I just want to make my announcement. Next Wednesday, 6 o'clock at the Restore Garden is the West Ventura Pool Initiative meeting. We're advocating to get a pool built on the west side, and we meet next Wednesday at 6 o'clock at the Restore Garden.
Oh, cool. All right. Actually, I'm going to give it to Lorelei, and she's going to explain something that's happening on her property that WCDC has collaborated with.
And I'm really so excited. Jackie proposed to me for this program called Inside Out. It's a global art. It's a global initiative. Yes. So art project, and it has pictures of people like all over. The projects do. This project is going to be hosted by or provided by Data Middle School, and it'll be all the different kids from the neighborhood there. So they're installing this. It's a temporary exhibit for 6 months, and they're installing it this Saturday, and I'm so excited. I've been in pediatrics for 25 years to support the kids on the Avenue. I'm so very excited about this. So any other things you want to say? Refreshments?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's this Saturday then. So if you want to come by as the art is going up on the walls, you know, come and take photos and see the kids in action. It's pretty exciting. They took the pictures. The pictures range from babies to high schoolers, but reflective of the diversity of the Avenue community, which is really fun, and they're really proud of their efforts. I think there's one student here also who's going to be posted on there. And yeah, so there's that happening. And then I just wanted to give a good plug out for our next workshop, because that's one of the things that WCDC does. We're trying to address housing, which is a big, huge, tangled mess. But one way that we're hoping to do that is just provide a workshop on how to add an accessory dwelling unit to your property and the right strategies to do so, because unfortunately many people go through the process only to be obstacle. There's just a lot of things that didn't go in the right order, and they can't open up their ADU, and therefore they've lost a lot of money. And so instead, we're hoping that people can get the right information and potentially add income to their property. So as offering a rentable space on their property. So it'll be in Spanish and English, and I'll have flyers over here if you'd like to see.
Anyone else?
Laura made some good suggestions about adding to the agenda, and I have one. It's regarding this place. Very often, every month, we have First Friday after our meeting here. I think it should be plugged, and it maybe put it on the agenda to remind us. Okay?
As I give this back to James Forsyth, I want to let you know, okay, that tomorrow at 4 o'clock is churro night at Taqueria Tepatitlan. Churros, ice cream, strawberries, this tasty, delicious dessert that you do not want to miss. And what district is that? Taqueria Tepatitlan in the world-famous taco district.
Okay, we got one more. Kathy Brimmer.
I just wanted to remind everyone that Saturday is World Oceans Day, and Surfrider's holding an additional extra beach cleanup for World Oceans Day, 9 to 11 at C Street. Meet up and enjoy cleaning up the beaches for everyone to enjoy.
Okay, thank you. Woo! Our chair, park commissioner. Okay, is there any more announcements? Oh yeah, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask all of you, do you know when the street sweeper comes on your street and does the street sweeping? How many people know that? Nobody here in this room knows when the street sweeper comes?
Monday.
Yes, the first Monday of the month.
Since 1992, I've been tracking that so hard to make sure, to make sure that everybody understands that we need to collaborate with the machine. So now she have a news, go for it.
So spread the word, the first Monday of the month.
Yes.
So all of the avenue and downtown, the first Monday of the month, except from Shoshone North, that's the first Friday of the month.
Yes.
So the first Monday, and then Shoshone North, the first Friday. I just wanted to let everybody know and spread the word so that people can move their cars. Because what happens is that the street sweeper comes and they don't get to sweep where there's cars parked. So just let everybody know. Thank you.
Yeah, first Friday.
Well, I just want to say that this has been a really energizing meeting tonight. The quantity of information that's put out, the number of different people who've come here to share what we can do in the community. There's so much to do. I'm exhausted already thinking about it. But yes, hooray! This feels different.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. Okay, let's wrap up. Again, our next meeting is August 7th, 6:30, same place, same time. We do not have a meeting in July, previously stated. It's 4th of July, week, so we're not going to touch that. Some of us are going to be out of town. So be sure to come back in August. You could always reach me. Please email us. Visit our website for more news and postings. We'll still be posting. We'll still be active online. So watch Facebook. WestsideCommunityCouncil.org. Yeah, it's right there actually on your agenda. And Facebook, yeah, we're what is it? West Ventura? No, that's WC. Just Westside Community Council, yeah. Okay, is there any more announcements, suggestions, concerns? No? Okay, be sure, memberships. We need memberships. This is how we function. See Mr. Rado, Mr. Gallegos. Okay, and we thank you guys so much for coming. Please pick up your chairs, clean up after yourselves. The chair's in the back right there on that hook. If you could just pick up your chair. Okay, thank you very much. We are done.